Hi, I'm Laura and welcome to my channel, Aquamarine18. You'll know from the title of this video that this is yet another VR for 31 Days of Witchcraft, and as always I will leave the info in the description box below about the tag started by Heather Carter and all of the prompts that we have for the month of May 2020. So this one is a response, of course, for day 14. And the prompt for day 14 asks us, do you believe in fantasy creatures such as dragons, fairies, unicorns, etc.? So the short and boring answer to this question would be no. I don't believe that these creatures exist in the world in any literal sense. Obviously, I know that humans are discovering new species of other animals every day, and the idea that humans might definitively identify like a larger species that they haven't, thoroughly documented before is certainly within the realm of possibility. But I don't believe in these creatures in that kind of literal sense, personally. But do you believe in fantasy creatures is the way that the question is worded, and I believe that they exist as fantasy creatures in the realm of fantasy, obviously. And I think that that is special and magical and important in its own right. I don't think that, things that exist in the realm of imagination or fantasy or story or myth or narrative are, by virtue of only existing in that kind of way, therefore unimportant. Not at all. And I thought for this prompt I would share a quote that I really like from an introduction to a novel that I really like. And that novel is The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula Le Guin. And this is a novel that actually in my work as a university instructor I've taught, hence the ridiculous amount of thematically color-coded post-its. So Ursula Le Guin has an introduction to the book, and I want to just read a little tiny piece of that introduction that this question about fantasy creatures reminded me of. So she writes, quote, "In reading a novel, any novel, we have to know perfectly well that the whole thing is nonsense, and then while reading, believe every word of it. Finally, when we're done with it, we may find, if it's a good novel, that we're a bit different from what we were before we read it, that we have been changed a little, as if, by having met a new face, crossed a street we never crossed before. But it's very hard to say just what we learned, how we were changed. The artist deals with what cannot be said in words. The artist whose medium is fiction does this in words. The novelist says in words what cannot be said in words," end quote. And I think that that is, a really incredible, powerful statement about how incredible and powerful and transformative that, concepts or entities or beings or ideas or places can be for us that exist in a kind of realm of fantasy. And I will just add, this novel has one of my favorite first sentences of a novel, of any book I've ever read. And the first sentence is, quote, "I'll make my report as if I told a story, for I was taught as a child on my home world that truth is a matter of the imagination," end quote. So, do I believe in fantasy creatures in a literal sense? No. But in another sense, in a certain sense, I don't really think that that matters. I don't think that, literal non-existence or physical non-existence, fantasy existence is, not special in its own way. So in the domain of fantasy, I absolutely believe in fantasy creatures, and that is good enough for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.